I have the pleasure to welcome Christoph Meinel, Professor Christoph Meinel. He is a director of the HPI, and he is spending this session together with us. So he gives a little input and a greeting at the beginning, and then he is also part of the panel discussion later. And I'm really pleased that you are here because you were on vacation, as I was, and I was not sure that you would make it. So I'm really happy, and he will relieve also a little secret, which is interesting to all of us about cooperation. So we just now hand over to Professor Christoph Meinel for his greeting. Please welcome him.
So from my side, a warm welcome. I'm happy to have the chance in your conference to introduce a little bit HPI and the new initiative, our Clean IT initiative we have started. And from that initiative, you can conclude what is the reason of this session, and that we have in the session also to announce a nice contract or letter of intent. Perhaps I start with introducing shortly HPI. I am quite sure you know HPI from the design thinking school. We have Uli Weinberg as the president, Stefanie Schwertfeger, who organized this event. But HPI is much more than the D-School. HPI is Hasso Plattner Institute for Digital Engineering. Hasso Plattner, you know, founder of SAP, and he has founded this institute 20 years ago. Last year we had 20 years anniversary. 20 years ago, with the idea to educate people that are prepared for this digital transformation our society sees in these years. IT, computer, internet last year has celebrated 50 years of existence, but in the last 20, 30 years, it has really changed all our life. Often it's called or mentioned in the term digital transformation. It changed how we, in our private life, interact with each other, how we communicate. Social media, they are 10 years old, and they belong today in a part of our life nobody can think how to live without. The World Wide Web, it's almost 30 years old, which provides this new possibility to use the internet to get any kind of information around of the world, to use any kind of service around, to reorganize how we compute things. With this cloud computing, so that's enough that we have such small devices and can start huge computation, huge activities in the digital world. This is a result of this development. And now the society, how we work, all is changed. And the question is that this is a time of innovation. So an explanation why a D-School is in the Institute of Digital Engineering is that when we educate young engineers, digital engineers, which are with her work being part of this change, of this digital transformation of our society, which is changing the world, then it is not only that they need to be educated in programming and computer architectures and such technical things, because when they, in their profession, come to the customer, come to the other companies and are asked to do something, then every time this is something new. So it's not enough to know a technical answer. It is also very important to have an understanding what are how changes can be organized, how to deal with such a complete new technology how to foster innovation. And there are no technical answers needed for that. There are a methodology needed, exactly like design thinking, which has the idea to look what the people need before one finds answers, how to change things, when is the way with fast prototyping to sketch solutions and interact with the users, whether that's the right way to go on. So the D-School is a little bit more than 10 years. So it was a learning process when we established this Institute for Digital Engineering. So there are, meanwhile, we are a little bit in an expansion phase, 21 different technology departments. My own department is Internet Technology and Systems. We have departments about programming, modelization, AI, data engineering, computer graphics, all you can imagine. And we have a very special infrastructure. So in Germany, almost all the universities are state universities. And in the state system, particularly in Germany, we need all to be equal. So also about equal money goes to each university. So this is sometimes difficult to try out things, to go a little bit independent in some direction before the big trust follows you. And this is exactly the idea, the basic idea of Hasso Plattner and his foundation, to provide means for such an institute. Some people call it the German digitalization lab. And in this way, we offer study courses in IT systems engineering, in master courses in digital health, in cybersecurity, in data engineering, in IT system engineering, so which are basis technologies. And of course, our students in a more broader aspect are educated also by the D-School. And we have also in HPI an E-School, School of Entrepreneurship, so that we also train our students to become entrepreneurs or to understand entrepreneurial thinking. There are also new ways for the PhD programs. Our HPI research schools, we have HPI research schools also abroad. In US and the University of California in Irvine, the focus topic there is AI. In Cape Town, South Africa, focus thema is IT for development. In China, in Nanjing University, his focus is mass data analytics. And in Israel, Technion, and their scalable computing is the focus. Here in HPI, we have the two focus on data engineering and on systems engineering. So there is a lot also in the structure of HPI, which is very innovative. And when we discuss with our students, which are broadly educated with this design thinking and entrepreneurship, also questions arises, what about the impact the digital technology has on our environment? So, and exactly this kind of discussion at the end were focused in an initiative that we have started this year in Davos, our Clean IT initiative. We have Hasso Plattner Institute for Digital Health in New York, so there we are closely cooperating with UN. We have an Hasso Plattner Institute for Design Thinking in Stanford University. So in this area, we discuss and asked ourselves, digitalization completely changed our society. What about the environmental effects? Are digitalization a solution to these problems we had with global warming? Or are digitalization the reason which increases this global warming by the huge amount of energy that is needed to further development, IoT, the Internet of Things, to implement visions like a smart home, smart city, smart production, Industry 4.0, all needs a lot of computing devices, and all these computing devices need energy. So to give you one only figures, is a little bit difficult with these figures, but all the devices we need in the digital world need twice as much energy, produce twice as much carbon, like all the flight traffic around the world. Nobody in the moment is speaking about that, but I'm quite sure it will become more. It will become more in the focus and needs to be discussed in more detail. And so we asked ourselves, can we do some contributions? Not against digital transformation. One cannot stop such a development. I think also one cannot stop to tell the people they should fly, less fly. No, we have to develop planes that do not produce carbon. And we have developed IT technology that has no bad effects on the environment. There is already an initiative for about, I think, 15 years. It's called Green IT. Green IT was a movement to look to computing center and to see how one can run such a computing center in a way that's more energy efficient concerning usage of energy that's needed for cooling and other things. So this is something that provide a lot of insights and helped to today to run computing centers which are very efficient. But what we think it's not enough. And this is exactly the idea of our Clean IT initiative, because we think when to give another example, you all know this, this deep learning. This is the most powerful AI technology in our days. And the idea is such an architecture, such a neural network gets a lot of examples. Let's speak, for example, about images. They get shown 100,000 of images, and they got told what on the image can be seen. And then afterward, you give an image without explanation, and it's quite good what they answer. So this training phase of such an image trained AI network with the typical 32-bit operations needs energy and produce carbon like 300 flights, New York, San Francisco. 300 flights, one complete training of such an AI system. So when everyone speaks about AI will change our world, we have to think how we produce so much energy, because this was only one very selected focus point, learning images. But the idea to apply AI systems are much larger. So what we are thinking, can we produce more energy efficient artificial networks? And we have one concrete idea, binary neural networks, not working with the 32-bit architectures, but working with 1 bit. And we make experiments in our research group, and we find out that they are not so accurate like the traditional 32-bit networks, but we are 5% less accurate. This is it's terrible. So 5%, it's a big percentage that we have not the full knowledge. So we have to improve this, but we spare 95% of energy. So thinking about new architectures, also thinking about how programs are organized. Computer programming is organized. With a small change in a program, the result is not changed, but the energy that's needed to run the program can be changed. So our idea and the behind the Clean IT initiative is to raise awareness of such progress in the educational process, in the company. So we are happy that SAP is joining this initiative. We are also discussing with other partners, WEF, with partners in China. We have also discussed with partners in Russia, but we had one problem. In Russia, the term clean IT is already fixed, and it's fixed for the area no pornography. So the Russian partner cannot join the initiative because the title is in another direction. In a moment, I'm a little bit worried that the Chinese people, which said yes, they can cooperate, are come into doubt because of the Clean Network initiative of Trump. You remember a few days ago, he mentioned that now we should be clean without Chinese and others. So of course, this is also another usage of our term, but I can say we were the first. And hopefully no more misunderstandings can come up. So the idea is to start with educating the students that we should think about such environmental impacts of our work, of our programming, of our systems we design, of how we use our systems, that we can contribute and not to increase the carbonization on our world. So our idea is, like we speak about security by design, about sustainability by design. So thinking from the beginning of designing system also on this effect. So in this way, we are very happy, and you will learn more about this in the session, that we have found a partner, a very important partner, IEEE, the world's largest association of engineers, electronic engineers, computer engineers. Konstantin will more speak about this, that we try to cooperate in this way, because also in this association in IEEE, there are ideas and initiatives to think about sustainability. And I see a wonderful place to discuss this is this conference. Uli, is this design thinking platform, is this design thinking approach that brings us together. Not only to think about technique, not only to think about standardization, but to bring this together with a chance to make the world a little bit a better place. Thank you.
Thank you.